There are moments in life when a vision ignites within you, a dream so vivid, so compelling, that it demands your entire being. It whispers promises of a future that seems impossibly bright, yet dauntingly distant. But then, the world responds with a chorus of doubt. Voices, subtle at first, then growing louder, question your sanity, dismiss your ambition, and tell you, unequivocally, that your dream is unreachable, reserved only for the privileged few, or for those with extraordinary innate talent. 4. Leo, a young, aspiring filmmaker from humble beginnings. His entire life became a relentless battle against these whispers, against the overwhelming odds, and against the chilling reality that his grand vision might forever remain just that, a dream. He wasn't born into a world of cinematic connections or financial backing. He possessed no silver spoon, no industry contacts. What he held was far more powerful, an unshakable belief in his story, a burning desire to bring it to life, and a pure, unadulterated passion for the art of filmmaking that consumed his very soul. He faced dismissive glances, outright ridicule, and the constant pressure to be realistic, to accept a safer, more conventional path. The world saw his struggles, his humble equipment, his naive ambition. But they didn't see the burning fire. In his heart, the unyielding conviction that kept him pushing when every logical reason screamed at him to surrender. But what if the greatest masterpieces aren't born in grand studios, but forged in the crucible of relentless struggle and unwavering self-belief? What if true triumph isn't just about achieving a goal, but about the grueling, often unseen journey? Through every obstacle, proving every doubter wrong along the way? This is the extraordinary, raw, and utterly triumphant story of Leo. It's a testament to the quiet sacrifices many endure, the profound courage it takes to chase an impossible vision, and the remarkable journey of how one individual, through the relentless pursuit of a dream, defied all odds and created his own destiny. Prepare to be incredibly inspired, because this is a heartfelt chronicle about a spirit that refused to be confined. Leo's fascination with storytelling began at a young age, not in grand theaters, but in the dimly lit living room of his family's small apartment. He was captivated by films, by the way light and shadow could tell a story, by how music could evoke powerful emotions. He devoured movies, not just for entertainment, but dissecting them frame by frame, trying to understand the magic behind the lens. He spent hours sketching storyboards in worn notebooks, crafting elaborate narratives in his mind, his imagination a vibrant escape from the mundane realities of his life. His parents, hard-working immigrants, struggled to make ends meet. They instilled in Leo the value of hard work and practicality. Art, especially filmmaking, seemed a distant, impractical pursuit, a luxury they couldn't afford to encourage. They wanted him to pursue a stable career, something that offered security, not the unpredictable world of dreams. Leo understood their concerns, but the pull of storytelling, the burning desire to bring his visions to life, was too strong to ignore. He saved every penny from his part-time jobs, meticulously collecting old film cameras, discarded editing software, anything that could help him learn his craft. His bedroom, small and cluttered, became his makeshift studio. He experimented endlessly, shooting short films with his friends, often using makeshift props and natural light, learning through trial and error. His early films were raw, unpolished, but they pulsed with an undeniable passion, a unique voice trying to break through. He studied famous directors, not just their finished films, but their early struggles, their relentless dedication. He knew that talent was important, but perseverance was paramount. During his final year of college, where he studied general media production, a compromise with his parents for a practical degree, Leo developed a concept for a feature film. It wasn't just a story. It was a deeply personal narrative about resilience, about the human spirit's ability to find beauty in unexpected places, inspired by the quiet struggles he witnessed in his own community. He poured his heart and soul into the script, crafting every character, every scene, every line of dialogue with meticulous care. He believed this story had to be told. It was his masterpiece, his life's calling. He submitted the script to various film festivals, small independent contests, hoping for a breakthrough, a recognition of his vision. The rejections piled up, polite and impersonal. Not quite what we're looking for, too ambitious for an independent project, lacks commercial appeal. Each rejection was a sting, a painful reminder of the seemingly impenetrable walls of the film industry. He was an outsider, without connections, without a name, trying to break into a world that seemed closed off to anyone without privilege or an established network. His dream felt immense, overwhelming, almost mocking his humble resources. Undeterred by the rejections, Leo refined his script, working tirelessly, fueled by an almost obsessive drive. He knew his story had power, even if no one else saw it. He tried to raise money, pitching his film idea to anyone who would listen. Local businesses, family friends, even strangers. The responses were consistently polite, but ultimately dismissive. Filmmaking? That's a huge risk, Leo. You need millions for a feature film. Where will that come from? Maybe start smaller? A short film? The message was clear. His dream was too big for someone like him. He faced a relentless chorus of naysayers. Even some of his closest friends, seeing his constant struggle and lack of progress, gently urged him to be realistic, to consider a more stable career path. "You're pouring your life into this, Leo," one friend warned. "And for what? A dream. That's never going to happen?" His parents, worried about his financial instability and his intense dedication to a seemingly impossible pursuit, increased their pleas for him to find a real job, to settle down. The weight of their expectations, their unspoken doubts, was almost as heavy as his financial burden. Leo felt the weariness deep in his bones. He was juggling a demanding full-time job to pay his rent, spending every spare moment writing, revising, and tirelessly researching filmmaking techniques. Sleep became a luxury. His diet consisted of cheap, instant meals. His social life dwindled to almost nothing. He saw his peers building careers, starting families, living predictable lives, while he was toiling in solitude, battling against an unseen enemy, the inherent skepticism of a system designed to keep outsiders out. He attended countless industry events, networking mixers, hoping to meet someone, anyone, who might see his vision. He'd approach producers, directors, agents, only to be met with polite dismissals, hurried glances, or outright indifference. He was invisible, a nameless face in a sea of ambitious hopefuls. He felt a profound frustration, a sense of injustice. He knew his story had heart, had soul, had the power to move people. But how do you get someone to believe in you when they can't even see you? His equipment was old, borrowed, or cheaply acquired. He had no budget for actors, for elaborate sets, for high-end post-production. The gap between his grand vision and his meager resources felt like an unbridgeable chasm. He doubted himself constantly. Was he foolish? Was his dream truly too big? Was he just wasting his life on an impossible pursuit? These inner demons whispered insidious lies, threatening to extinguish the burning fire that had sustained him for so long. He was fighting a war on too many fronts, and the path ahead seemed utterly bleak, shrouded in insurmountable odds. He truly believed he was at his breaking point. His spirit pushed to the absolute limit. Leo was at his lowest point. He had just received another crushing rejection, this time from a film grant he had poured weeks into applying for. His bank account was almost empty. His laptop, his only tool, was constantly overheating, threatening to crash at any moment. He sat in his tiny apartment, staring at his meticulously crafted script, feeling a profound sense of defeat. All this, sacrifices, all the endless hours, all the unwavering belief, it felt utterly pointless. He was ready to give up, to finally admit that everyone else had been right. His dream was too big. He was too small. He spent the next few days in a haze of despair, ignoring calls, avoiding emails. He felt a deep shame, a crushing guilt that he had wasted so much time, so much effort on an impossible dream. He started looking for a second full-time job, something mind-numbingly practical, ready to bury his artistic ambitions forever. Then, an unexpected email appeared in his inbox. It was from a small, independent film blog he had vaguely heard of, known for its underground film reviews. The subject line read, "Regarding your screenplay submission, echoes of the unseen." Leo frowned. He had submitted his script to them months ago, a desperate, last-ditch effort, and had completely forgotten about it. He assumed it was another polite rejection. He almost deleted it without opening. But something, a tiny, almost imperceptible flicker of that old hope, made him click. The email was from an anonymous reviewer. It didn't start with formalities. It began, "Dear filmmaker, I rarely reach out directly. My job is to critique, not to encourage false hope. But your script, Echoes of the Unseen, moved me in a way few things ever have. It's raw, unpolished in places, yes, but its heart is undeniable. The story you've woven, the characters you've created, they feel profoundly real. They deserve to be seen. They deserve to live. You are trying to tell an important story, and important stories find a way. Don't give up. Not on this, not on yourself. With profound respect, a fellow storyteller who believes in your vision." Leo stared at the words, utterly stunned. He read it once, then twice, and a third time, searching for a catch, a cynical twist. But there was none. It was pure, unadulterated belief. A stranger, an anonymous reviewer, had not only read his script, but had seen its soul. And they believed in him. They told him not to give up. Tears streamed down Leo's face, hot and fast. Not tears of sadness, but of overwhelming relief, a profound validation. He had been so alone in his pursuit, so convinced of his own foolishness, that this single, unexpected message felt like a beacon in the darkest night. Someone, somewhere, truly understood his vision. Someone saw the burning fire within him. He felt seen, truly, profoundly seen. The despair that had consumed him for months began to recede, pushed back by a surge of renewed purpose. The script, which had felt like a heavy burden, now felt like a sacred trust. He wasn't just fighting for his own dream anymore. He was fighting for a story that apparently needed to be told. The anonymous email was a powerful affirmation, a reminder that his relentless pursuit wasn't in vain. He didn't know who this fellow storyteller was, or how they had stumbled upon his work, but their words had breathed new life into his dying hope. He knew with absolute certainty that giving up was no longer an option. Not now, not ever. He had to find a way to make this film. Fueled by this renewed purpose, Leo returned to his film with an almost manic energy. He refined the script, poring over every line, every scene, trying to live up to the profound belief a stranger had placed in him. He spent countless hours researching, tirelessly looking for resources, for unconventional ways to make his dream a reality. If he couldn't get $1 million budget, he would make $1 million film with $1,000 budget. He would use ingenuity, raw passion, and every ounce of grit he possessed. He realized he needed a team, even a small, dedicated one. He couldn't do it alone. He reached out to old college friends, budding cinematographers, aspiring sound designers, aspiring actors who shared his passion but lacked opportunities. He pitched his film to them, not with grand promises of payment, but with the raw, undeniable power of his story and his unwavering belief in its message. He told them about the anonymous email, about the vision that simply had to be brought to life. Surprisingly, many said yes. They were young, hungry, and believed in making art for art's sake. They were his first allies, his small, determined crew. Their initial filmmaking efforts were a testament to their passion and their sheer lack of resources. They shot scenes in abandoned warehouses, using natural light or cheap floodlights. They used borrowed equipment, held boom mics with broom handles, and built sets from scavenged materials. Every day was a challenge. Technical glitches, unexpected weather, exhausted actors, and the constant, nagging voice of doubt. But they pushed through, fueled by shared passion and Leo's infectious determination. Leo himself learned to operate the camera, to manage sound, to edit, taking on multiple roles, pushing his limits in every way imaginable. He was learning every aspect of filmmaking, not from a textbook, but from the raw, demanding crucible of independent production. His parents, seeing his renewed vigor, were still worried, but now they saw not just a dream, but a tangible effort. They offered small, quiet acts of support, home-cooked meals for the crew, a few dollars for gas. Their initial skepticism began to soften, replaced by a cautious, budding pride. They witnessed his relentless pursuit, his unwavering commitment, and the quiet magic he was beginning to create. The film was far from finished, the challenge is immense, but for the first time, Leo felt like he was truly building something, brick by painstaking brick, defying every expectation, and proving to himself that his relentless pursuit was, indeed, his life's calling. The production of Echoes of the Unseen became an all-consuming endeavor, a relentless test of endurance and faith. Leo juggled his full-time job, now a grueling night shift, with endless days of shooting, directing and managing his small volunteer crew. Sleep was a luxury he rarely afforded, replaced by strong coffee and an almost manic dedication to his vision. His body ached constantly, his mind buzzed with creative ideas and the chilling whisper of doubt. Every day was a battle against fatigue, against the mounting technical challenges, and against the crushing weight of knowing he was betting everything on an impossible dream. His crew, though passionate, faced their own struggles. They were working for free, fueled only by shared belief and Leo's infectious determination. There were moments of intense frustration, heated arguments born from exhaustion and stress. Equipment would break down, locations would fall through, actors would get sick. Each setback felt like a monumental obstacle, threatening to derail the entire project. Leo, as the director, felt the full weight of responsibility, the immense pressure to keep his team motivated, to find solutions where none seemed to exist. He learned to be resourceful, to improvise, to find beauty in imperfection, to see every problem as a puzzle waiting to be solved. The post-production phase proved even more brutal than the shooting. Editing hours stretched into endless nights. The raw footage, though filled with the heart of his story, was a colossal challenge to refine on his aging, struggling laptop. Rendering complex scenes took hours, sometimes days, constantly pushing his meager equipment to its breaking point. There were moments when the software would crash, losing hours of painstaking work, sending Leo into fits of despair. He would stare at the blank screen, tears of frustration blurring his vision, feeling the familiar tendrils of self-doubt creeping back in. This is too hard. It's not good enough. You're not good enough. His parents, though proud of his dedication, grew increasingly worried about his health, his isolation. They saw the toll his relentless pursuit was taking. His gaunt face, his bloodshot eyes, his withdrawn demeanor. They urged him to take a break, to prioritize his well-being. But Leo couldn't. He was too close. The finish line, though still distant, was finally visible. The anonymous email, the words "Don't give up," echoed in his mind, a constant mantra. He had to honor that belief. He had to finish what he started. He owed it to his story, to his crew, to himself. He lived on cheap, instant meals, powered by the sheer force of his will. His apartment transformed into a chaotic mess of hard drives, cables, and coffee cups. He became a recluse, his only companions the characters on his screen, the melodies in his mind. His sacrifice was immense, pushing him to the absolute limits of his endurance, both physical and mental. But every single frame he completed, every single sound mixed, every single note perfected, was an act of profound defiance, a testament to his unyielding spirit. He was burning himself out, but he was burning for a purpose, for a dream that refused to be extinguished. After what felt like an eternity, filled with sleepless nights and countless revisions, Leo finally completed Echoes of the Unseen. Last frame rendered, the final sound mix approved, the end credits rolled, a powerful culmination of years of relentless effort, sacrifice, and unwavering belief. He watched the finished film in its entirety, alone in his small apartment, tears streaming down his face. It was raw, imperfect, a testament to its shoestring budget, but it was his. It was the story he had envisioned, brought to life through sheer force of will. He felt a profound sense of accomplishment, but also a quiet exhaustion, a lingering fear of what came next. He had built his dream, but now, how would it find its audience? The next hurdle was distribution, an even more impenetrable fortress. Then production. Without a major studio, without industry connections, getting his independent film seen by anyone beyond a small festival circuit felt impossible. He submitted Echoes of the Unseen to countless film festivals worldwide, pouring his last remaining funds into submission fees. He meticulously crafted press kits, sending emails to film critics and distributors, hoping for a single reply, a single glimpse of recognition. The rejections piled up, as they always had, polite and impersonal. Too niche, not commercially viable, lacks star power. The familiar whispers of doubt returned, threatening to drown out the fragile triumph of completion. He attended a few smaller film festivals, showing his film to sparse audiences. The few critics who saw it offered polite reviews, sometimes noting its heart or potential, but never the breakthrough he desperately sought. His crew, though, proud of their work, began to move on, seeking paying jobs, their own dreams needing sustenance. Leo felt a profound loneliness. He had poured his entire being into this film, and it seemed destined to remain unseen, unheard, a labor of love that would never truly find its echo in the world. He started to question if it had all been worth it, if his relentless pursuit had truly been a foolish endeavor. He was physically and emotionally drained, facing the cold, hard reality that sometimes even pure grit isn't enough to break through. He felt like his journey was destined to end in quiet obscurity, just as Leo is contemplating shelving Echoes of the Unseen indefinitely, perhaps even deleting the files. An unexpected email appeared in his inbox. It was from a small independent film critic and online reviewer known for his blunt honesty and keen eye for hidden gems. The subject line read, "Your film, Echoes of the Unseen. This changed me." Leo stared at the words, utterly stunned. He had sent his film to this critic months ago, expecting nothing. He opened the email, his hands trembling. The critic, a man named Marcus Thorne, was notoriously difficult to impress. "Mr. Vance," the email began, cutting straight to the point, "I receive hundreds of independent film submissions. Most are derivative. Many are pretentious, Yours is different. It's imperfect, yes. The cinematography is raw, the budget obvious. But the story, the raw, honest, human heart of your story, it's a masterpiece. It touched me in a way few films ever have. You made me feel. You made me think. You made me believe. Marcus Thorne continued, I've reviewed your film. It will be published tomorrow. And I've already reached out to a few major independent distributors. I don't usually do this, but this film ... it deserves to be seen. The world needs to hear these echoes. Don't be surprised if your life changes very, very soon. Leo reread the email, his eyes blurring with tears. Marcus Thorne, a respected voice in the independent film world, had not only loved his film, but was actively championing it. It was a lifeline from the most unexpected place, a sudden, blinding light in the darkness of his despair. He immediately went to the critic's website. The review was indeed published, not just a review, but a passionate endorsement, calling Echoes of the Unseen a rare, raw cinematic masterpiece that redefines independent filmmaking. The review ended with a powerful call to action for distributors and audiences to seek out this unforgettable, soul-stirring film. The next few days were a blur. Marcus Thorne's review went viral, shared across social media platforms, picked by larger film blogs and news outlets. Suddenly, everyone was talking about Echoes of the Unseen. Major independent distributors who had previously ignored his submissions were now calling, eager to acquire the rights. Film festival organizers who had rejected him now offered him prime screening slots. The phone rang relentlessly. Emails flooded his inbox. He was being offered deals, partnerships, opportunities that just weeks ago had felt like impossible fantasies. The world had finally seen his vision. His relentless pursuit had paid off in a way he never dared to dream. He remembered the anonymous email from the fellow storyteller years ago, telling him not to give up. He wondered if Marcus Thorne was that person, or if it was simply the universe's way of affirming his journey. It didn't matter. What mattered was that his dream, once a solitary whisper, was now a resounding echo, reaching ears across the globe. He had pushed his body and mind to the absolute breaking point. He had faced every doubt, every rejection, every impossible hurdle, and he had won. His film, born from sheer grit and unwavering belief, was finally going to be seen. Echoes of the Unseen became a groundbreaking independent film, lauded not just for its powerful story, but for its raw, authentic spirit. It won awards at major film festivals, garnered critical acclaim, and resonated deeply with audiences worldwide, proving that a film with heart and truth could indeed conquer the biggest screens, regardless of its budget or its humble beginnings. Leo, the young filmmaker from a small apartment, became a celebrated director, sought after for his unique vision and his unwavering commitment to authentic storytelling. He never forgot his roots, never forgot the relentless struggle, the skepticism, the countless rejections. It kept him grounded, empathetic, and fiercely committed to empowering other independent artists. He established a foundation, the Unseen Voices Fund, providing grants and mentorship to aspiring filmmakers from underrepresented backgrounds, giving them the same chance he had fought so desperately for. He spoke openly about his journey, about the brutal realities of the film industry, but always emphasized the power of persistence, of believing in your story when no one else does. He was not just making films. He was building a movement, creating a space for raw, honest storytelling. Leo's story is a powerful reminder that the relentless pursuit of a dream, fueled by pure grit and an unwavering belief, can indeed lead to extraordinary triumphs. It shows us that true greatness isn't about where you start or the resources you have, but about the unyielding will to keep going, to push through every barrier, and to prove that your vision is worthy of being seen. He proved that even when the entire world counts you out, when the odds are stacked against you, an indomitable spirit, fueled by pure passion, can indeed achieve the impossible, turning a solitary whisper into a resounding echo that inspires. Millions dot his tale as a beacon of hope for anyone chasing a seemingly impossible dream, for anyone facing overwhelming obstacles, or for anyone who feels their ambition is too grand for their circumstances. It reminds us that your relentless pursuit is your greatest superpower, capable of turning impossible dreams into astounding realities, and that the most profound successes are often born from the quietest corners of unwavering determination. If Leo's incredible story of the relentless pursuit of a dream touched your heart, if it reignited a spark of ambition or reminded you of the profound power of unwavering determination, please take a moment to like this video. Your likes help us share these powerful true stories of courage and triumph with more people who need to hear them. And if you're moved by true tales of the human spirit, extraordinary strength, and life's beautiful transformations, be sure to subscribe to Heartfelt Chronicles. We bring you inspiring stories every week that remind us that no dream is too big for a relentless spirit. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another journey with us. What's a dream you're relentlessly pursuing, or an obstacle you've overcome through sheer determination? Share your powerful experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's celebrate the indomitable spirit that lives within us all. Thank you for watching. And remember, your relentless pursuit is the first step towards an impossible triumph. See you in the next video.